The News Channel 5 Network and Out and About newspaper. This is Out and About Today. Sponsored by the Tennessee Performing Arts Center.
Good evening and welcome to Out and About Today. I'm Brent Meredith. We have an exciting new show for you tonight. Chuck's got your first look at the Nashville Reps new season, and Pam has the details on the upcoming 15th annual Nashville Black Pride. But first, they both join me now for opening Buzz About. Hello, Chuck and Pam. Good to see you both.
Hey, Brent.
Good to see you.
Happy September.
Let's turn this happiness into some craziness, shall we? Okay. So there's a lot going on in the world right now, and I know we're not blessed with the convenience of time, and the show is taped, but I wanted to hit some sort of overarching topics that I thought related to a lot of things going on now in the world that hopefully we can talk about and not seem dated tomorrow.
Well, we will under this administration.
Well,
no matter what we say, it all changes.
You're exactly right. Just as we were speaking before we started taping, the transgender military ban took another turn today. What we thought was just some rants and tweets, and I think we have a picture of the tweets to throw up of what Chuck, or I almost said Chuck, excuse me, Chuck, what Trump said. You know, those are the three original tweets that he said, you know, after consulting with the generals, transgender individuals aren't really wanted. Victory cannot be, you know, what does it say, burdened with the tremendous medical costs. Yeah, all these excuses, thank you. And so that kind of put everybody, of course, in an uproar. What does that mean? Department of Defense didn't get any sort of directive. Well, as of today, as we're taping, there's appearing to be drafting the memo of those changes. All that to say, what is this about? Pam, you've got...
I mean, we're aggravated. What happens, though? So he's drafting a memo so that maybe people will take him more seriously and start tweeting everything.
And the directive, from what I understand, is that if you're currently in, they don't want to pay for your transition surgery any longer or your medications. And if you're not in, we don't want you.
Right. And I think we were all talking about the amount of people this affects, the cost compared to, I mean, we all saw the headlines after these tweets, right, of what other initiatives we pay for. Oh yeah, the Viagra comparison. The Viagra.
Yeah. But just in general, the fact that if you're in the military, you know, and what the generals have been saying, at least on social and on the news, is that if you're fit to serve, then you're fit to serve. We don't care if you're transgender.
Right. This to me is just it does it every time, but it panders to the base. And
there's no other answer.
Even if the base wasn't necessarily saying, "Hey, get the trans out of the military," just from the fact that he's doing this. Now he can say, "See what I did for you," and then the base just gets more and more behind
and
it.
change the subject. Yeah.
I agree, but I do think every time you speak to the base, there's the people that are a little bit closer to us than that think, oh, that move over closer to us.
Well, and Chuck and I were talking, we were talking about this in the dressing room a while ago, that there's always going to be a certain percentage that no matter what he does, they just dig in even further. But the hope is that there are those sort of people right on the edge that think, okay, this is just crazy. Nobody needed this. Nobody was asking for this. But where do you think it'll go? I mean, will this memo be sent? I mean, I'm pretty confident it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got 3
yeses.
We'll
talk about it next month.
And we'll wait till another president to undo it. You know?
Well, and to be fair, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Obama allowed it to happen. So, I mean, things will change and can change.
Well, and I don't know why I want to say this, but I know I was somebody that was dug in to my candidate, for sure. I mean, way back Bill Clinton days, which now seems like, who cares what he did? But I think I've been a part of that. I just always feel like I've said it on the show plenty of times, the right side of all these
Of course you do. Yeah, we always feel like we're on the right side, given our experiences.
But there were so many people in an uproar at some of Obama's actions, right?
Yeah.
And their heart really hurt.
Yeah.
Just like ours.
Right. But it seems ironic to me that he...
It's interesting because Obama was making more things possible. Trump is taking things away.
And the irony of his commitment, if you will, if I can use that word as loosely as I can with him, to veterans and to the military, and it's like, what's the point of this one little piece of that? Why do you even care? You know. Anyway, well, let's move on to the next topic, and this is something I find very interesting. There were some articles out recently, and just, you know, we've all seen Trump's tweets, and we know that he's on social media. Do you think it's somewhat either to account to, or the Twitter or the platforms, all of the social platforms, since they do have an agreement that you have to, you know, check okay, do they hold some responsibility for this? Should they be allowing more people to say whatever they, I mean, I guess, do they have any blame here, for lack of a better word?
Blame on
the fact that, like, clearly Trump has violated Twitter's policy several times, you know, and since Charlottesville there have been pages taken down, websites. Is that something they need to continue doing? Is that fair for them to say, okay, well, this is hate speech, this isn't, I mean, is that right or wrong?
I think it's right. I mean, I think to take hate speech down is always right. I know you need freedom of speech, whether or not obviously we agree or disagree with that person or that group. But when it becomes hate speech, when it becomes threatening speech, like some of the guys in the Charlottesville in that march, they were talking about, he was like, yeah, it's like, you know, I may have to kill somebody. Well, you know what? That's wrong.
Right.
That's wrong. So that kind of speech, maybe freedom of speech, but when you're talking about, I may have to kill someone, or I may have to hurt someone.
Well, and I wanted to talk about this too. So I'm glad you're rolling this into sort of one topic, is that, yes, nobody has denied them the freedom of speech that they have. It's just they're being denied to sort of purvey that speech on a platform that doesn't find it suitable. But then you could argue, well, who's running the platform? Is that fair? I mean, you're contemplating.
I know. I don't feel as strongly. I mean, I hate that kind of rhetoric, of course, but I do believe that people have a right to say it. I believe that people have the right to demonstrate,
sure,
even when it makes me most uncomfortable.
Sure.
I think Charlottesville, I mean, how do I say this? Because I've been to protests. I don't want anybody to think that I haven't, which side I'm on here, but sometimes if we would just let these crazies be alone, maybe there wouldn't be a million now popping up all over the place and all these sign-ups because it's getting so much attention.
That's a fair point.
It's like membership is rising because...
Well, and I've seen people were calling for, you know, like, it's great to show up and counter protest, and you want that, but let them shout into the air. You know, like, we already know there's going to be thousands more people showing up to counter protest. Let's let them just be alone.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Just let them be alone. Let them talk about it and be alone. But I guess it's just interesting to me that we have these social platforms, we have these ways that are interconnected, to be so easily interconnected, but we do have to agree to their service agreement. You know, like, and people get reported, the fake profiles, the fake news, but I mean, I just find it interesting that, you know, I think it was Google, GoDaddy, they both got rid of, they wouldn't host some of these alt-right, you know, newspapers after the fact. But it does seem like a little bit of a slippery slope.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you think so?
I do. I think it is a slippery slope. I don't want any of my stuff coming down. You know, I'm an extreme person on the World Wide Web. What is it called? Facebook?
What is it called?
2 or 3 years ago?
What is it called?
That is so true. I haven't got into it. Maybe that's why I feel the way I do, because I'm really not in the mix.
Well, and to be fair, I use Twitter as sort of that place to just rant and rave, because so much happens so frequently that a lot of times it's overlooked, and I try to keep Facebook a little bit more personable and family-oriented and whatnot.
Fun and light.
Fun and light, but I mean, anyway, we've got to get out of here. They're telling me to shut up. So we'll be right back with Chuck's Nashville Rep Season Preview after the break. Stay with us.